Once I had my assignment to the White House, I had to do two things. One was to have briefings in Saigon with the ambassador and other senior officers. And the second was to travel to Cambodia and Laos and Thailand to learn and get updated on what was happening in those countries. So I flew to Thailand and then up to Nakhon Phanom in northeast Thailand. Everyone referred to it as NKP. And there the U.S. Military had a base. I went there and on a small kind of executive jet plane with two U.S. military pilots dressed in civilian clothes, we took off, landed in Laos, where was the secret war referred to. The American involvement in Laos was very much through intelligence organizations. The plane landed, we got off, and we didn't go through customs or immigration or any passport stamping. We just went out a back gate with nobody checking us or stopping us. Got into a car, drove to the embassy, had briefings from our ambassador and from other American intelligence officers about the state of what was going on in Laos, our involvement, the army of Hmong ethnic people who lived in Laos who were fighting on the side of the government that we were supporting. Flew back the same day to NKP, and then from there into Cambodia. I spent time being briefed by the ambassador, John Gunther Dean, whom I had known and met in Vietnam when he was a regional member, regional senior advisor in First Corps in the Cords program. Now he was ambassador. There was a strict limit on the war, on the number of Americans who could be in Cambodia advising the Cambodian government. There could only be 200 official Americans at any one time. But I was taken out by U.S. Army advisors, and it was almost surreal. We drove down one side of the Mekong River to where the Cambodian government was making a stand against the Khmer Rouge, who were fighting their way up the river. These are the Khmer Rouge who I had reported on in southern Cambodia. Now they're militarily moving towards Phnom Penh. And on one side of the Mekong, you'd get down so far. And so we're at the front line. And this U.S. Army major who was escorting me, speaking French to the Cambodian counterparts, part of the Long Nol government, the army fighting against the Khmer Rouge and other rebels. On the other side of the Mekong, they were the Khmer Rouge. They had moved up closer. So we're standing on one side, the river isn't that wide, and on the other side, friendly artillery rounds are exploding and hitting the Khmer Rouge because these were two separate military regions. Different commander on Khmer Rouge, different commander of the Cambodian government. On this side, totally different Khmer Rouge commander. So you're standing here looking across the river, and I'm watching the enemy lines having explosives impacted on their positions as they're getting closer. I go back to Phnom Penh that night, and it seemed like in many ways the embassy life, the diplomatic life, was totally separated. They were living in kind of a traditional existence almost. We went out to a dinner at someone's home, sitting on the balcony and having a nice dinner, and like you might in Thailand or Malaysia. And then off in the distance, we hear an explosion and say, oh, maybe we better go inside. But there was such a difference. It was as though the war might never come to Phnom Penh. Phnom Penh had never had the war. King Sihanouk had kept Cambodia out of the war. It was still had a feel of kind of the French culture from the French colonial period, or some nice restaurants and beautiful French basilica there. Little did anyone know that 13 months later, the Khmer Rouge would sweep into Phnom Penh, take over the country, and begin to impose their draconian rule, which would empty the cities and leave close to 2 million Cambodians dead of all causes under the Khmer Rouge rule of just 4 years.